Hey everyone, welcome back to OC Outdoorsman. Well, I'm finally back to saltwater fishing on my kayak. And today we're at Huntington Harbour, and fishing with me is two who I met over at Miles Square Park if you saw my most recent video. It turns out he's a kayak angler, and today we're going to explore his favorite fishing spots. It's been well over a year since my last trip out here, and this is fresh after a rain, so I have to warn you, the waters aren't ideal for fishing. It was fairly muddy. There's a lot of runoff that comes into the harbor during the rain, so it's not very clear. You'll see that there's quite a bit of debris in the water, but I'm out here to explore because Tu is very familiar. This is really his prime fishing area, so he has navigated this area quite often. Even before he started kayak fishing, he used to shore fish all along the bridges, beaches, and other public access areas. So join me on this day of exploration as we cover a lot of water. The day after a heavy rain here in Huntington Harbour. Close to the fishing spot, and I have to throw on my jacket because it is getting cold out here. Air temperature is only 55 degrees, but for some reason it feels colder. The water temperature is at 53 degrees. Check out the water in front of me. The current was ripping. It was a struggle just to get close to this bridge as we were fishing during the outgoing tide, so the water was quite turbulent. Tu finally managed to get close to the bridge a bit later, and he threw an anchor out to try to fight the current, and it was successful. He was able to stay right in that area. But it's a fairly narrow gap, so I gave him space and I just fished around him. So after about an hour of fishing, we decided to move to the other side of the harbor, and as you can see that large bridge ahead, kayaks are not permitted past this bridge. So we focused our efforts on this side where Tu was telling me striper have been caught, along with halibut and spotted bay bass. By now the wind was really kicking, and I anchored down just so that I could cast a line without drifting too far. But I decided to pull up anchor when Tu tried to flag me down. He was maybe 100 yards away from me and he was stuck. It looks like the wind blew him into a sandbar and he could not get out of it. So here I'm heading towards him to see if I could tow him out of this sandbar.
You alright?
Fortunately, Tu has this rope tied to the bow of his kayak. So what he did is he threw it to me, and I'm grabbing onto it with my right hand. You can't quite see it, and I'm just pedaling like crazy to tug him out of that sandbar. And it worked. So here we're heading out into open water, but I'm pedaling into the wind, so I'm taking him out a little further to make sure that we're clear of the shallow water. By now the wind was blowing even harder, so we decided to head back into the harbor, and to manage to land a short halibut. As you can see here, he is releasing it back into the water. So as we make our way back to the landing point, here's some aerial footage of beautiful Huntington Harbour. Enjoy. You know, I forgot to mention, 2 uses the Hobie Pro Angler 14. This is a 14-foot kayak, and I mean, it's a dream to take on the ocean because it's such a stable platform, but it is heavy. As you can see here, we're trying to get his cart under the yak into the scupper holes, and yeah, this is definitely a 2-man job. You need to lift it high enough so that you can plug the cart into the scupper holes. But it was a task, as you can see here. I have the Old Town Big Water 132. It's a 13-foot kayak, and it is heavy, but this kayak is even heavier. But we were successful. Well, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing. And Happy New Year!